Welcome to the Marketing Boost Solutions Podcast, the #1 source for proven solutions to all your marketing challenges.
On today's episode of the Marketing Boost Solutions Podcast, we're diving deep into the future of digital marketing and the power that AI has unleashed to reshape everything we thought we knew about brand growth, content, and connection. Joining me is none other than Rachel Hernandez, the Director of Brand Strategy at NextNet Media, the world's largest online retailer of optimization services, with a global network of trusted media outlets and more than 700 content creators under her leadership. Rachel is a force in the world of content strategy, SEO, and AI-powered marketing. She's been a Woman in Content Marketing of the Year finalist and an international speaker, a true pioneer who really helped launch NextNet Media's powerhouse content department back in 2016, scaling it to deliver thousands of high-quality assets every single week. So, whether you're curious about how AI is transforming digital strategy or how to balance automation with human creativity, you're going to get gold out of this episode. So, let's welcome to the show, Rachel Hernandez.
So I think it really started when I was a kid, and I was addicted to stories, namely books. So my parents, we moved around a little bit when I was growing up, but books, and they were just kind of always there. So I would take them. I was always getting in trouble for like reading under my desk, or once my parents even got called in because they were like, Rachel's not participating or socializing as much with the kids. She's just kind of always reading during recess and downtime. And what that did was that really pushed me to pursue writing as a career. And I didn't go to school for marketing. I actually went to school to be a fiction writer, which sounds crazy now, but I guess it kind of did work out for me because at the end of the day, good marketing is really storytelling and connecting to the user or the listener on a level that feels authentic and relevant. And that's what good literature really does. So that's sort of how it translated for me. It was a long journey to get here. But I would say that my studies around writing and literature really contributed to my ability to create strong messaging.
Nice. And then you ended up, tell us a little bit about how you ended up working for or becoming the lead role director of brand strategy at NextNet Media.
Yeah, and I actually just got a promotion. I'm senior director of content now, which is awesome. But I was living in New York City. I was born there, and I spent most of my life there. And that's where I went to college. I had gotten into grad school at Columbia University and could not pay the tuition for a job that was not going to pay too much. So I was kind of spinning my wheels and waiting tables and applying to all these different publisher houses. But it was such a competitive industry. And it was, this was around like 2000, the recession. We're talking like 2007, 2008. So it was really, really hard to break through, especially without knowing somebody. Everybody kind of had to have like a leg up to get in. And after spending 13 years in Manhattan trying to figure out how to break into writing or some sort of creative field and waiting tables and having a good time, I just said, this is not going to happen here. And my plan was to find an area that had sort of like a tech bubble or some sort of industry that was not New York that I could break into and perhaps do some marketing for that company. And digital marketing was still fairly new. So it wasn't like you were up against, people with college degrees or anything in that realm. So I figured I could break in. I knew I was smart. I knew I was a hard worker. And that brought me to Tampa Bay. And I got hired for minimum wage at the time. I think it was $12 an hour. And I was tech support at an email marketing company. And from there, within 5 or 6 months, I worked my way onto their content team. And then I was able to work my way from there into head writer. So it was definitely a mix of like knowing where my limitations were, but also, okay, well, if it's not going to work here, like what's the way to get my foot in the door and know that I can trust myself, my hard work, and my talent, that even if I start doing tech support, which I had never done before, I'll be able to make my way and work up to where I think I should be.
What a great story. And I can't wait to get into more about the AI and the experience you've developed over the years, but I want to get into a question about two things that are kind of off topic, but in you got into the tech world, you got into a world of then content. Did you find any or feel any limitations holding you back for being a woman or being a Latina woman? If that
Oh, wow. Um, that's such a good question. I think not so much when it comes to showing like your talent, because I think a lot of the time that speaks for itself, but I think getting into the room where you get to show your stuff, it can be a bit more difficult. The industry that I'm in is SEO, primarily. That's the businesses that I work for primarily do SEO and brand exposure, and it's incredibly male dominated. And I think a lot of the time people do assume that the women in the room are less focused on data and analytics and these things that have sort of been socialized into us as being traditionally masculine.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the tech guys.
The
It's not,
tech guys and then
you
the
know,
creative women, it's the same,
right.
like you know, teachers were women, whatever. So it's a harder journey. But I think once you're able to get a seat at the table, which just takes a lot of tenacity and takes a lot of pushing and takes, I think, more preparation than maybe um, other people might have to do. Um, Once you're in there, I think it's on you to get that buy-in and to maintain it.
Exactly.
Um,
So if you are willing to do what it takes, you can climb that ladder.
yeah,
Um,
doesn't make it fair, but it's possible.
exactly. That's exactly right. I mean, my dad early on, my dad was he felt he was discriminated upon in his at his time in the corporate world. And I remember him when as he was passing away, actually on his dying bed, he was telling me, Marco, feel free to change your last name if you want. If you're going to climb the corporate ladder, he was giving me permission. He even told me, change your name to Towers if you want. It'll be easier for you in the corporate world instead of Torres. And I'm like, okay, Dad, no problem. But
Yeah,
I
did
never,
how did you take that with you? That's
it
pretty
was
cool.
rough. I mean, he had some rough times with General Electric credit when he was stuck at the vice president level in the Caribbean and in Puerto Rico, and he felt he was never given the top role
Yeah.
because he wasn't clicking or he wasn't a part of the boys club from Connecticut with all of the GE team at the time, all the white Anglo Saxons and what
Yeah.
have you, and but anyway, I did not, you know, I was not moved to do that and just continued to bang out my career
Yeah.
um, with my last name Torres, proud of it. So, but I thought I would ask that question of you just to see how
Yeah.
a younger generation like yourself might be going through that. So, before we move on to the next, folks, I've got a whole bunch of great questions for Rachel as we get into the subject of AI and marketing and using AI for the new marketing world along with SEO. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
It's time to wow, surprise, and impress your clients with the most powerful customer draw card available anywhere. The Marketing Boost Solutions Show is brought to you by Marketing Boost, where you can get valuable travel and restaurant incentives to drive your leads from prospects to paying customers. Now you can offer complimentary hotel stays in over 130 destinations worldwide. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com and try it for free right now.
Folks, you just heard from our main sponsor, marketingboost.com. If you're new to the Marketing Boost Solutions world, Marketing Boost is it. I mean, if you're an entrepreneur and you're looking for ways to wow, surprise, and delight your clients, with it. You need to check out Marketing Boost, a very affordable platform to provide powerful incentives and rewards that can, again, wow your clients into taking the next step, taking whatever action or improve whatever your call to action is. Incentive based marketing with marketingboost.com. We're back with Rachel, and we're here talking about getting ready. I'm going to ask her some questions about content creation in the AI age. So, Rachel, what is your take on AI generated content, writing, video, images? What useful tool, if any, are good ideas for shortcuts, if that? So,
Hmm.
tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ground to cover there, right? I mean, I think anybody who's sort of played around with a tool like ChatGPT or similar in this past year is aware of how rapidly this technology has evolved in just a short amount of time. And because it is rapidly evolving and no matter whether you're an entrepreneur or you're working on a team, I think most of us are working with limited resources a lot of the time. So it can be so incredibly tempting to just throw a prompt into a large language model like ChatGPT and have it come up with something that looks reasonable enough or good enough, and to move forward with it. And I understand that temptation. Um, the problem with it is that these tools, well, there's a few problems with it. One, these tools are available to everybody, and you'll quickly see similarities across the outputs. And what happens when everybody starts relying on these tools for content itself and not just like research or planning is it's all a race to the middle and everything sounds the same. Um, I took an AI class, a continuing AI class last year at Harvard, and they had this exercise where we were all going to come up with a new company. So it was like a very entrepreneur based, and we were given sort of a list of things to do, but not necessarily like the prompts that we were supposed to put in. And while you're doing it, you're like, wow, this is incredible. AI is coming up with an entire company for me. And this is, it's doing all the research, the market research. It's telling me how to position everything. Oh my God, this is going to cut down on everything I ever thought of. And then when it came time to present your findings to the class, everybody's product was essentially the same and the marketing was essentially the same. And so that was like a very big, oh, it looks really easy while you're in it. But when like push comes to shove, we're
And
all
did they each have a different business to try to create, or was it all
Yeah, but it was
yeah?
all that had very similar threads. Because it's
So
all pulling
everybody's pitch
from
sounded the same, even though they were all
everybody's
different.
pitched on the same, because it's pulling from the same pool of information.
Right.
And so what we have to do as content marketers, and I'll talk a little bit about how I use AI because it's an incredible tool. But what we have to do is what's the differentiator? What is the thing that is going to make our difference, our value proposition difference, the way that we relate to our user base difference? What's the you, what's the why? And that's not something that AI is able to come up with. Or and if it does, it's saying the exact same thing to your competitors and they're using it, and then you're all going to be the same anyway.
Yeah, I've even tried asking my chat. I named my Chat GPT account. I call her Ashley, and
Mm.
she's my girlfriend almost here with
The work
she,
work wife, right?
yeah, and she tells me what I want to hear quite often and so forth. So you're a genius. You're a genius. You're so smart. She tells me. So, but back to a question I have for you. Oh, I was going to say I've often, asked her, okay, you wrote me this response. Thank you. And then I'll say, can you make it sound less like ChatGPT?
Mhm.
Can you reword this and not make it sound like typical ChatGPT? Get rid of the emojis and, show me this, that, and the
Yeah.
other.
Love some
And
emoji.
so, yeah, I get the point. It's very standardized essentially. And it's probably this, as you say, this everybody's getting similar responses, and you see it in everybody's content these days. You get emails that look, you can tell ChatGPT wrote them, and so on and so forth. Um, what how does AI brands, or is there a way that AI is helping people do better targeting and messaging with
Yeah,
SEO?
100%. So some things that I like to do, and this is goes along with targeting and messaging. So again, the AI can't think for you, but you can give it all the tools it needs to kind of like figure out your style and figure out what you're going for. It just can't think for you. That has to come from you. So some things that I like to do, for instance, like if I'm creating new email campaigns, is I'll be able to download the data from prior campaigns. We use Salesforce, so Pardot, and then upload it, and it can sort of pull like which were the strongest subject lines, which were the strongest CTAs. They had the most click through rates. Is the messaging resonating more when it's longer? Is it resonating more when there's an image? It can kind of, I like to call Chat GPT or AI tools like Excel formulas for people who did better on the verbal. Like you'll kind of be able to parse through this like information very easily, and you can feed it into the Chat GPT and then say, okay, as you're crafting this outline for me, please make sure that you are following best practices according to the data that we've already collected. And you can just take like a PDF or a spreadsheet and just kind of save that file and load it in, and it will remember that for you. So that's super helpful for someone like me who kind of was just tracking all this stuff on spreadsheets and trying to integrate it. The other thing that I do is I have obviously like brand guidelines, writing styles. I write the content for our website, so I've downloaded my writing, my brand guidelines, my style guide. I've uploaded webinars I've uploaded podcasts like this that I've done, and essentially trying to train it to talk like me and to write like me, because I hate emojis and I don't use exclamation points. I'm kind of old school in some of those ways. But you kind of have to keep drilling at it, and it's not perfect still. Like still I'll be like, please never say in today's digital landscape ever again. Like you say that all the time. But it is useful. And you can kind of train it to talk like you and to write like you.
And
But
that
again,
is one of that is one of the cool things, especially about the some of the recent upgrades to ChatGPT and other AI platforms, where it 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 remembers what you put it even from different threads. That's the new thing I think with ChatGPT is
yeah.
previously you had to kind of keep everything you wanted it to remember within a specific thread, and now I understand that wherever you put it, it's still going to be in the memory of your account for in a new question or a new thread. It's still going to can pull if you prompt it right to the previous memory. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So that's super useful. But again, it can't do the thinking for you. And that's
Hmm.
really what I tell. Like, you have to come to the idea. And this is why I'm not afraid of AI stealing my job or stealing jobs of other marketers or people in my industry. Because at the end of the day, you always need a thinker, you need an idea person. And the AI can't do that. Again, by nature, it's pulling from what's already there. It's not going to come up with something new. It's not a thought leader. And whatever it comes up with is available for everybody else. So you really have to bring your knowledge and your ideas to the table in order to really get the most out of this tool without sacrificing your quality or what you're offering to your users.
So talk to me a little bit. I've got so many more questions for you, but talk to me a little bit about your website, your company, NextNet,
Yeah,
and
yes,
what
we
do
are.
y'all do? Who do you do it for? What's your company's um,
Yeah.
avatar?
So NextNet is actually it's a holding company, and we own various brands that help with organic brand exposure. So that could be with SEO. We do a lot of SEO, link building, content marketing, organic social media, and basically anything that's not like a paid media placement or PPC or paid advertisements. And what we do is we harness AI. We own a few AI companies and have some proprietary, software that helps with predicting trends, competitor analysis. And so what we're able to do is take that data and craft content or build links or do different things that will help your brand be seen everywhere, including tools like ChatGPT, including things like AI overviews, because that's where search is evolving. And we kind of take all the guesswork out of that. And then we do the delivering, of course, as well. So we write the content for you. We do a lot of link building for you, a lot of link outreach. We have various teams of freelancers that can help with fractional marketing needs. So yeah, that's NextNet, but really it's this family of brands, and I would say the most well known are the Hoth, which is SEO, linkbuilder.io, which is really high value link building for enterprises, and then Authority Builders, which is also an SEO and content company.
Wow, very cool. And who, what kind of company can afford your services? What are, what's your avatar? What is it for someone to consider reaching out and signing up? Where should they be? Is a startup okay? Is a,
Yeah.
um,
If you even want to click on the who we help, that should, but we have sort of three main user bases that we work with. One is going to be entrepreneurs and small to medium businesses. And that is really the value add there is done for you SEO services. So you kind of need this organic strategy, but you're working on your business. You don't have the time to write a ton of content or build a bunch of backlinks that are going to move the needle in Google or in AI search. We simplify all that for you. So you don't have to do any extra effort. You don't have to do anything like that is outside of the realm of your own expertise. And we
mhm.
have pricing starting. I'd say we're very, very competitive at $1,000 a month for managed services, which is kind of unheard of, but we started off as a white label agency. And so we have like sort of these wholesale prices because people do reseller services. And then, yeah, the next one would be resellers or white label. So if you're an agency, if you're doing web development, if you're selling paid search, if you're selling a hosting service, this is a very easy thing to tack on to your current offerings. We handle all the deliverables for you. Everything you do, we do is white labeled. So you can easily slap your logo on it, get all the credit, pass it off as your own, do a nice markup, and essentially just grow your net revenue without adding any overhead. And then we do work with enterprise clients. I think, I'm not sure, we have some NDAs, so I'm not sure who I'm allowed to name, but some very big names in the industry. So if you're working at a company like Adobe and you just need some help with links or content, we do those services as well. So it really runs the gamut. And that's why we're a holding company. So we have these multiple brands that can service multiple users and multiple niches.
Folks, if you're listening on a podcast that we were just showing, you could jump over to YouTube later in the show links below. We were showing her website. Um, and that was, it's all nextnet.ai, nextnet.ai. So we were going through that. And if you're on Rumble or YouTube, obviously you were looking at what we were showing. If not, you might want to go there later and check it out. So we're next question I've got for you, Rachel, is on that white label idea, which is cool because something I might even consider. Um, what is that pricing discounted so that I can offer it
Mhm.
for about your same pricing and still make money?
Yeah, so there's a book buyer discount, and I think it's tiered. I don't know exactly what the tiers are, but obviously the more you buy, the more you're discounted. Again, our prices are already very competitive. I think most people will kind of do like a markup of what they're paying. So if you'll charge your client $2,000, you'll pay us $1,000. You'll pocket the $1,000. And it's just really easy. That's what we started doing. That's how we were founded. We were only white label until about, I'd say, like 2014. So that's really like, we have a dashboard, we have everything. It's super easy to manage. We're sort of built for that. And then what we found is that people were discovering that like that we were this white label service, and then they just started coming directly to us. And so we said, okay, like there's another user base here. We know like the deliverables will work just as well for an end user as it does for a reseller. And we sort of opened up to work end to end as well.
Got it. So, um, Tell me about the 700 content creators that you oversee, and what are they doing for those clients and so forth. So
Uh,
give a perspective to the person here
so
looking at how they might use your services.
we obviously don't use AI. We don't create generated and sell AI content. I just don't think that would be a ethical thing to do at this point. The writing team, I'm quite proud of. I came to NextNet in 2016 and I launched their first content product. That's why I joined the team. And that was Hoth Blogger, which was optimized blog content. We started with about 10 writers, I guess almost 9 years ago. And as demand grew for this product, we needed to grow the team. So I have had full teams of just people who are experts at writing to hire and onboard contract writers to our platform, and they have their own platform in there, sort of like if you're driving for Uber, right? Or if you're like shopping for Instacart, you have like your own view. You're able to pick writing assignments according to where you feel most confident. You get rewarded for great client feedback, and the longer you've been writing here, we have different pay tiers. We have writers who are on the team who've been there for 7 years, which is kind of incredible. That's not really heard of in our industry at this point. But it just fulfilled the need. We had about, at one point, I think 20,000 pieces of content per month, whether it's blogs, web copy, product descriptions, um, any. So it was very cool for me because, again, like we talked earlier, how I was trying to break into writing. So being able to kind of create um, this product where people would get paid to write was also very, very cool, because that had always been my dream when I was in my 20s. And
Right. So you mentioned that with those hundreds of content writers, you're not using AI, or they're not using AI. So what's your take on AI generated content then when it comes to, video, images? Is it a useful tool, dangerous shortcut? What are your thoughts on that when it comes to
I
business?
think it's too uncanny still. Um, I think it just doesn't pass the sniff test. I honestly do cringe when I see like an AI generated image on LinkedIn or on like a Meta ad or something similar. It doesn't work. It doesn't feel authentic and real. And to me, marketing, that's what it's supposed to do. Like, marketing is not supposed to make people feel uncomfortable or be like, oh my gosh, that hand has 8 fingers, or that thing in the, like you kind of want to put the effort in to make sure that you're creating something that people are not going to be like looking at to see what looks weird about it, because they all still kind of look weird.
So do you run, for example, when it comes to the written content, are they running it through a chat, or a AI to make sure they're keeping with the brand voice and authenticity, or
No,
no?
no, they're really trained to kind of, everybody has a very strict training guide, and very strict guidelines for each client. And so they really stick to that. We also have a very large quality assurance team, like an editorial team that goes through everything and asks for revisions before it even goes to the client, because we want to make sure everything is all set. I'd say we use AI to do other things, like to make sure the content is optimized for SEO properly. Have used tools like Surfer SEO, for instance, which is just like, okay, this is how this content compares to what's ranking for that keyword and what you need to do to make it more competitive. Like, that is something that I think AI is perfect for. But yeah, in terms of generating AI content, again, whether it's writing, whether it's an image, whether it's a video, um, it's not quite there yet in a way that your users will trust what you are telling them. So I advise against any of it
Right.
at this
So
point.
what are some of the repetitive, maybe time consuming marketing tasks that
Yeah.
AI now can handle better than humans?
Yeah, definitely analysis of data again. Like, for me, it's almost like it's an easier way for me to do an Excel formula. I love like being able to load data in from a marketing campaign and just for it to outline like the wins, the losses, work we can improve, what we didn't try that we can try next time. Like all of that I think is really, really useful. Again, training it to talk like you. I don't use AI content like as is, but it's a nice way to have a draft or an outline or to brainstorm. But I would never ever leave it untouched, and I would always sort of add my own take. Because again, this is not you're not going to be any thought leadership. You're not going to have any new ideas with something that AI comes up with. I use it for planning content calendars a lot now. That's been new. I plan content calendars for like 7 brands. So, when it comes to social media posts, when it comes to posting on the website, it's very nice to be able to plug in like something that's going to market or something that's going on, and the content that I have in mind, I'd have it sort of outline the way
Yeah,
that
it helps you give you the ideas for all the holiday, the holidays on the calendar for that particular
yeah.
niche brand or what have you.
It's like, I mean, I don't know. This is probably a bad metaphor, I guess, but um, I'll turn on Google Maps when I hop into my car and I'm driving, but I'm still driving. Like I'm still kind of making the decision. I'm figuring out whether or not we want to pull over or turn around. Like it's a very useful tool to help you get there, and it shows you where there's going to be some traffic and things like that. But at the end of the day, like I'm still the one behind the wheel, and I'm still making those choices in the moment.
For the time being, sooner or later, they'll have cars where we get in and it won't
Oh
even let
God.
you out. No, you said you're on a diet. You can't stop at Starbucks for coffee. No, poop. And your AI car won't let you get out to buy the coffee.
Yeah. We're not there yet. I don't know if that'll be a good thing or a bad
A
thing.
good thing or bad. I could just
Yeah.
imagine the refrigerators of the future. You go to open the refrigerator and it'll say, "No, you're still on your diet." Uh, so, what advice would you give to a small business owner trying to embrace AI without losing their brand's human touch and maybe on a low budget, not or
Mhm.
thinking that they can't afford a service like yours, but trying to, you know, get going? Is it something that a business owner should delegate to one of his staff and good luck, or he should uh,
Yeah. I mean, that's a great, and even like beyond starting a new business is we're heading into what could be a recession and some uncertain economic times, and so we all kind of have to take a look at where we're spending our budgets and where our resources are going. And I would say the marketing, sometimes marketing's like the first thing that people cut, and I don't think that's the right thing to do, and I'm not just saying that because I'm in the field, because you're going to want to keep selling, and you're going to want to stay competitive, and you're going to want to prepare for whatever is ahead. I would always have some sort of strategist in your pocket, whether that's an agency like us, whether you're hiring a consultant or someone fractional. We have people like that on our marketplace called FreeUp. And then again, you need the idea person. But using Chat GPT or similar tools for execution that maybe doesn't take you all the way to the finish line, but takes you more than halfway there, is going to save a ton of time and a ton of energy.
going to spark ideas that you can then continue to use with those ideas. You continue to prompt ChatGPT, for example, help me enhance this, help me do, and then you put your own twist on it, like you said, make it sound, make it be you versus
Think of the
the machine.
and play with it too, like because I'm laughing at Chat GPT and saying that the images are still weird, the videos are still weird, they are still weird, but there will be a point, for better or worse,
Well,
that
yeah,
we
it
may
can
not
be a
be able to
starting
tell the
point. It
difference.
can be a starting point to give to your graphics guy and say, you know, improve this, make this
Yeah,
work for us, and yada yada.
it'd be like
One of the biggest challenges I've always had is being able to communicate to my graphic team what's in my head. And so in a way, ChatGPT can help you with, might be
Oh,
able to help
yeah.
you spit out your kind of put your idea together and then give that to your graphics team to say, improve this.
I mean, and I've even done, that's funny because I work with graphic designers on my team, and I've even done, please outline this in a way that I can hand it off as a brief to our graphic designer. And if you're a creative, there's always just sort of like this back and forth. And yeah, that's a really great point. Like things like that make it much easier. Um, and then even asking it, like, I all the time, if I put some writing into it, what is this missing? How can I make this better? How can I make this more compelling? How can I make this more benefit led? The things that like maybe you're having writer's block over because you've been staring at a screen all day looking at something. And it'll usually have some pretty good suggestions, add a data point here, add a case study here. You can do XYZ, you can add this incentive. And then you can kind of pick and choose and see what makes the most sense.
Yeah. I'm writing a book right now and about my kind of a bit about my life, but mostly about incentive based marketing. And as I write the book, I write my content, turn it over to ChatGPT and say, help me expound on this,
Mhm.
help me, uh, you know, even make this more, add some funny to it or this or that.
Yeah.
And it can do amazing stuff to help, carry on what but you gotta, like you said, you still gotta drive the boat.
Yeah.
So as I say, as Captain Marco, someone's still got to be at the helm and it can't be the machine. So folks, we're going to be right back. I've got amazing questions coming up about efficiency, ethics, and the future of AI. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Is your business on autopilot yet? Do you have automation in place to capture, nurture, and convert prospects into clients via email, SMS, ringless voicemails, appointment setting? Get all the inbound and outbound marketing tools in one place. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com for more on automating your business so you can make money while you sleep.
Folks, you just saw and heard from automationbooster.com. Now, I've been an internet marketer since 1996, before Facebook, Google, Yahoo, all of that stuff. Back then it was AOL, and email marketing was the big thing. But today, I've never seen in all my years a platform like Automation Booster, so affordable with all of your inbound and outbound marketing tools available to you under one roof for one crazy low price. Your email, texting, voicemail broadcasting, your funnel builder with hundreds of templates pre-built for you with the Marketing Boost incentives already included, so you can see ideas of how to disclose the disclaimers of the Marketing Boost incentives, how to deliver them to in funnels that actually work. Check out automationbooster.com as an enhancement to your Marketing Boost account on how you can create these templates, create workflows, funnels, calendar bookings, and using these incentives to help enhance your call to action. Automationbooster.com. Check it out. And don't do it now. Wait till the end of the show. All right. So we're back. We're back here with Rachel, the expert in AI and SEO and copywriting. And so, what are some of the question I have for you next is there's a lot of concern around data privacy and AI ethics. What should business owners know to stay on the right side of responsible marketing with AI?
Yeah, I mean, don't feed it confidential information and ask it what to do with it. I think is a pretty simple start. One of the things that I've been harping on that I think is sort of coming up now is the issue of copyright. Because again, purely AI generated content is created from what's already there, what's already in its system. So if you use AI to create an image or a video or even a piece of written content, does it actually belong to you if you don't put enough of your spin onto it? And I hear this coming up a little bit more now, but I don't think it's a big conversation. I think it will be. Um, I think it will be in the next few years, is to see how do we attribute AI content, especially if you put in an image and you say make it like this, or if you ask it to write like this particular writer or this particular leader. So those are things I would keep in mind as well. And again, goes back to why you really need to enhance whatever you do with your own human element and your own thoughts. Because I can see in the next few years a bunch of lawsuits happening over people who are suing for content that was generated from their original thought that was picked up by AI and reused by a business or by another person.
Hmm. That's interesting. What about using your own voice with, you get your own voice cloned and you want to be able to spit out content, audio or video
Mhm.
content, with maybe your audio voice and different images flowing through and do you have any clients doing that?
Yeah, and
Does
we've
that
done it
work?
too. I don't think there's an issue with that as long as you're writing it and everybody is consent. Oh gosh, what was the software that we used? HeyGen is a video software. You have to sign a whole bunch of stuff, but you can upload a video of yourself, kind of like, like this right here, just talking at a camera. You say a few things, and this tool allows you to upload a script, and it will, make you basically an AI video of you saying it again. I can see that being very useful for entrepreneurs or for people, let's say, like in the real estate field or something where you're kind of having to send updates or communicate with your users regularly. It's still a little uncanny, but I think you can get away with it. I don't think there's anything ethically wrong with it in concept, but when we we were using the software and had a manager and he uploaded his likeness to it, and so one of the guys on my social media team, made him say that he was giving him his office, like his corner office. Um, so, and that made me think. I was like, man, if we could deep fake our CMO giving up his office to a social media manager, like what are the what are the possibilities if this fell into the wrong hands?
Yeah, it is crazy what can obviously happen with the deep fakes, right? There should probably be laws around the world to be able to always, put the disclaimer, this is a deep fake, or something.
Well, that's what I think is going to happen. I think this is going to be kind of the same way when you watch a TV commercial, and
Yeah,
it's
when
a
it says these are
paid
paid
actors.
paid actors or what have you, they should have some disclaimer that this is a voice clone or something, so that it's uh, kind of not that everybody would follow the law, but at least you'd have something to go after them for
Yeah.
as not having disclosed that it was a deep fake and so on. Um, Folks, I have a question for you before I go on to my next sponsorship here. Rachel, in the world of AI, do you know good ways that people are using AI for managing their online reputation with reviews, for example?
Yeah, actually, I think there are various softwares, and it's funny that you brought that up because I didn't prep you with this, but we're launching a review and reputation management software in a few weeks. So on May 15th is our go to market launch date. And so some of the ways that we're using AI is this dashboard has like all your Google reviews, all of your Meta reviews, all of your Trustpilot, et cetera, reviews all in one place. But it's able to help you craft responses. It's able to help you create messaging, asking users who haven't left a review to leave a review. It has like basically predictive models where it's also able to sort of generate like how your reviews are going at a particular time. So you can start to anticipate whether or not you need to be proactive. So I think all of that is super, super useful. And again, like anything that kind of takes that low level stuff that you would just have like a support person or a VA do is fine. Like if you're using a canned response for review management, you might as well use AI
Right.
to respond.
Well, cool. Well, with you launching in a few weeks, I want to step ahead of you with our own product here, folks.
Oh,
I wanted to tell you about trustbyreviews.com, something that we have launched in beta format right now, trustbyreviews.com. And similar to what Rachel just talked about, we help you generate, first of all, we help you generate constant flow of new reviews and testimonials from your clients, soliciting honest feedback. And one of the things that we do that's powerful is that once you get that honest feedback, we're going to help your clients with a couple of clicks promote and push those reviews to multiple third-party review sites wherever you need them most. So if you're shy on more reviews for GoogleReviews.com, we can push reviews to Google Reviews, or we can push them to SiteJabber or Trustpilot, or we can push them to Shopper Approved or Yelp, or you name it. Hundreds of third-party review sites are going to be coming available. We probably have about 24 now that the system will help you solicit reviews and even reward your clients with marketing boost incentives if they are publishing and pushing those reviews to the going the extra mile to push those reviews to multiple third-party review sites and or give you their honest feedback in a video review. So again, that's how Marketing Boost was born. For those of you who don't remember, Marketing Boost was born when one of our travel sites, we needed video testimonials and we couldn't come up with a way to get them. And we came up with a way by rewarding our clients to go that extra mile of filming selfie testimonials. And guess what? We generated over 30,000 video testimonials for our main travel website, which no other travel site in the world has that many. And now we're making it available for you to do the same with trustbyreviews.com. Go check that out. The links are in the show notes below. So you can put your ears over what Rachel mentioned on her product coming out soon. I'm just kidding, of course. Competition is good. So, and of course, the system will help you set up, if you'd like, automate AI responses to the reviews as they're coming in. Especially if you have a lot, the bigger your business grows, the more reviews you need. And man, Harvard studies have shown people look at your company, are going to look at reviews and make decisions 70% of the time based on your reviews. And if your last review was 2022, you're going to be out of business. You need a constant flow of new relevant reviews. And if you don't ask for them, you don't get them. So you've got to be consistently soliciting new reviews and keeping them on multiple third-party review sites like Google, Facebook, Yelp, etc. So, Rachel, thank you for letting me promote my own products here on our conversation. As we're running out of time here, what would be some of your wisdom, final thoughts of ideas that business owners should be using with AI and SEO? Are there tools? I mean, obviously, hiring your firm is one. But is there, you mentioned HeyGen software for voice cloning. You mentioned Surfer SEO, which I'm not familiar with. I got to go check that out. Thank you for that. Is there any book, podcast, area of content, resources available that folks can go look for learning how to use SEO or AI better?
Yeah, I really love the Marketing AI Institute. And they've been around forever, like way before, this was the new kid, the buzzword on the block. God, I forget his last name. First name is Paul, but you can go to their website. They have webinars, they have conferences, they've had some amazing people. One of my favorite content marketers, Ann Handley, was a keynote speaker for them a few years ago. They do trainings. You can join their email list and their newsletter. I trust them because they've been around for like 20 years now. So this is not, and they're very down to earth. Like, they're excited that AI is part of the conversation now, but they also are not so enthusiastic that they're letting the things that we've talked about sort of get away. So I would definitely recommend checking that organization out. That's been a great resource for us and our team.
Cool. Thank you. Is there, in your life and success that you've had with your career, has there been a book, or something that's made a mega change in your perspective and your career path?
Yeah. Again, I said Anne Hanley. So she is the world's first chief content officer. Um, and she has a book that if you read Strunk and White in high school, it's sort of like the grammar direct writing Bible, for lack of a better word. She wrote a book called Everybody Writes, which is essentially the same thing, but for copywriting and marketing. And that I think has been it's something that I encourage everybody on our team to read. But really get to the point. How do you say it in a way that resonates the most? Giving you instructions on how to overcome things like writer's block, or just have this direct marketing conversation. So Anne Hanley is great. She speaks at a ton of conferences. She's a great newsletter. I recommend definitely following her. And yeah, everybody writes. And the thesis is everybody writes. Even if you're not in marketing, you're tweeting, or you're on Facebook, or you're writing a postcard. Everybody could use a way to communicate more clearly.
And improve that skill. Rachel, how can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, my LinkedIn is probably the best place. So I am Rachel A. Hernandez. That's my LinkedIn handle. And you can find me there. You can search NextNet, Rachel Hernandez, or the Hoff. Share a lot of insights on there. I'll share this podcast when it's live on there. And the other place I would say is the Hoff blog. So if you want to search for the Hoff blog, I write that blog. And you can even see on the LinkedIn, it's view my blog. That's it. And that actually has a ton of resources for AI too, and marketing in general. So yeah, here's the SEO. How do you show up in different SEO search engines? I think I just did an AI overviews post. We're big on AI right now, like everybody else.
Well, that's a new big thing, right?
Yeah.
Forever we've been trying to be seen on Google, Yahoo, Bing. Now we got to worry about getting found by Cloud, ChatGPT. Is it Cloud or Claude? What is it there?
I think
Claude?
it's Claude. I don't know though.
Yeah.
I'll ask
And so
ChatGPT.
the new perplexity, right? How do you get found on ChatGPT and others? So you cover that in your blogs and in your interviews. Cool. Folks, this has been, or I should first say, Rachel, thank you. You've been giving us a lot of powerful information. Do you have any call to action you'd like anybody watching to take now?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're interested in what we do and you think you can use some help with your organic brand exposure, again, we offer competitive pricing. We work with everybody from a small startup to a large enterprise. So if you want to go to nextnet.ai, there's tons of links to book a call or send an email, and we'd be happy to talk to you.
NextNet.ai. The site is really cool to look at, whether you register or not.
Thanks.
It's something here to check out. So, folks, nextnet.ai, and here you can reach out, fill out the contact form, and so forth, and reach out for a what I assume is a free, no obligation
Yes.
consultation call,
Yeah.
and check out nextnet.ai for more on how to build your brand that puts your brand everywhere, with and without, more importantly, ad buys. They're helping you get it done via SEO and other content. Thank you, Rachel. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate your time. I got a couple of favors to ask of you. If you like the content we brought you, I need a like. Give me a like right now and ask any questions. Give us some comments. What did you take away from our show? Leave those comments in the notes below, in the comments below. And the big favor I'd ask of you is to, one, subscribe to the show so you never miss one of our episodes. And lastly, grab the link and share it with another entrepreneur or a bunch of entrepreneurs. Grab this link, share it with others who might be wondering, how do they use AI properly? How do they expand their business on SEO with AI? How do they get elsewhere so they can reach out to Rachel and find this content and improve their business with AI as well. So if you found the content great, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you're ready for the next episode of the Marketing Boost Solutions podcast, right below, bottom right and left, you can click on and get to the next episode of the Marketing Boost Solutions podcast. Thank you for your attention. We'll see you on the next episode of the Marketing Boost Show. Thank you. Thanks for listening to another episode of Marketing Boost Solutions podcast with your hosts, Captain Marco Torres. Now it's on you. Take the next step now. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com for more on how you can wow, delight, and surprise your clients with the most amazing draw card on the planet. So stay thirsty, my friends. Stay thirsty for knowledge. See you next time.